Oh, okay.
To cut up, we echoes a little bit.
Underneath that, what are they here?
I'm gonna be able to hear it in a minute. It said it's making a weird noise, but I think it's
I'm hearing some mandolays playing.
We hear music, but I don't hear the live yet. I don't know what they're hearing because I can't hear it.
You want me to put your mic up?
Yeah, it's 6:00.
Yo. Turn the mic up. Let's bring it down.
Hi, y'all. We about to go live. Invite y'all friends, share, invite, all that good stuff.
Uncle Phil, why ain't you watching? I don't see you on here, Uncle Phil. You told me you was going to watch your nephew today.
For some reason, my stuff is sending out Messenger now.
I wonder why.
Instead of like the notification. Hi. Welcome to the Truth Be Told. This is Tbeyb.
And I'm Nelson Neal.
And you're live here on KUAW. This KUAW. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, KUAW FLPFM 985.
Get it out,
Make
sure
that's the email, KUAW985@gmail.com. If you guys want to call in and hear yourself on the radio today as we discuss today's topics, 816-599-6893.
6893.
Again, 816-599-6893.
6893.
You hear your own voice over on the radio airs.
So we here now. We in the building. This is Truth Be Told. And make sure right now we letting people tap in. So make sure you like the page, share the page, because whether you know it or not, we can make this the #1 talk show out there. Not like we in competition with nobody, but we just love what we do.
Jada coming for us. Jada Pickett-Smith.
Oh, she's coming. She got the red table. We're gonna have the KUAW table. Yeah, but Jada's there. I like her. She's real.
I like that little show.
She's from the heart. She talk with her children is on there.
You
and
like that little show?
Yeah.
Was that a knock? You think that was a little shade?
It's a cool little show. That's a
cool little show. Yeah.
And since y'all can't see that, but y'all can hear them, that is our engineer, the funny man on the show now. Covell.
The comedy relief.
Yeah, the comedy relief.
See, we come with the serious. We gonna come with the serious nationality, and then he gonna pop up.
What they call me? The
comedy guy.
No, they don't say that.
The funny guy, like Family Guy, you got the funny guy.
Hey, make sure before we get out of here too, you promote that. You got a thing coming up. So yeah, we gotta make sure we support one another. Get out there and do that when we got stuff going on. So
do we want to get into what's going on nationally first, or we want to get in what's going on locally first?
I mean, we got to just jump in because this hour goes by so fast. So I think you just dive in. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Like the children, they got out of the cave. I think that's some kind of. It's in Thailand, but they got out of there. They've been blasting that all over the news. How did they
get in there?
I think it's kind of like there was a soccer team, but kids here, like in the U.S., they go on like camping expeditions and hikes when they're in like Boy Scouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they was just out there camping and they was exploring.
And got stuck in the cave.
And the rain hit and the weather changed and the waters rose and they got stuck.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be nowhere like, hey, let's go in that cave.
No, I'm just like you as a fan, I'm just thinking like as a parent, like who you gonna be like, yeah, I'm trying to send my 7-year-old out in a cave expedition, and then they can't see him or nothing until after they get all checked out. But yeah, that was weird kind of thing. But I'm happy everybody's okay with that. I mean, you are too, right, T-Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got out. I didn't want the cave to like cave in on them or nothing.
Or drown them out.
Yeah, I'm glad they got out. That's good.
Yeah, does anybody know why they was in there?
I mean, that's what we were trying to figure out. I think they was doing. It was a soccer team, so I mean, it was a soccer team, and they was out there in the cave, man. So I'm happy most got out. One guy died though.
A lot of people going to caves, going to visit,
hiking and stuff.
Just hoping nobody know the cave that day that cave gonna cave in.
Yeah. Well, just one of the things. So I just want to throw that out there real quick. We can move on, but just throw that positive energy out there. Something good happened today
because I'm going
in the world. So let's balance it out. What you got, T?
Yeah, I know that's what I'm here for.
Be the yin to the yang, and then Corvell is those dots in between the yin and yang.
I just bring
the funny,
right answer every time. Usually,
every time. Statistics,
stats,
mathematics.
We do not want to quote that.
Where you get the stats from? Where you get them all from? Numbers. They just come out the air.
We do not want to quote that. But I want y'all to tap in because Kansas City, y'all making me mad. Y'all know how when I think they had that "Why You Mad"?
Yeah, why you mad?
Kansas City, y'all making me mad.
Oh Lord.
Because I don't understand why we just doing all this senseless killing. Like, what are people into these days? The guy they robbed the Jay's Fish and Chicken. First of all, what was you robbing Jay's Fish and Chicken for?
That's my thought right there. Like, if you're gonna go for it, and I'm not condoning anybody to do any of those types of acts, why don't you go for some money? You're gonna rob some place where you might get.
Maybe they was hungry and they was trying to get some chicken.
What you want, like a number 2 special and whatever's in the register?
I don't know, but they
so that's
killed
like
the
$50.
worker. And I'm like, why y'all gonna do that? Like, y'all killed. I don't know if it was a y'all. I don't know if it was 2 people, 1 people, nothing like that.
But it happened.
It did happen. And
somebody.
So this is my next question.
Right.
If we know anything about this, you know, like maybe that was an associate of yours. You heard somebody talking about it or something like that. And you call, you know, the tips hotline. Kansas City has the tips hotline.
Right.
Do you feel like that's snitching? Y'all make sure y'all comment because I want to know.
On it. Now, T, this is
snitching?
deep right here. You coming with some heat right now. Because this is my thought on that. You know, when we do share information, it's like we got to go share it with the police, right? And you know, I'm not against, because I got my own definition. I'll share that with you on snitching here in just a second, because I'm not an advocate of snitching, period. But when we go tell the police about whatever's going on, it's almost like going and sharing, you know, a wrong act with an entity that's wrong anyway, because they don't care about us, or, you know, they at least don't give me that impression. So it's like when you go tell them, they don't care. They just trying to lock up a couple brothers anyway. It's not they're not even trying to really get to the bottom of it. So I think that the solution is deeper. We gotta have a correction with inside of our own community. It's not going to be solved from the outside, but I think snitching is like if you were involved with it, me and you go do some stuff and I get caught and I'd be like, well, she was with me too.
Yeah, that's snitching.
That's snitching.
You telling because you got caught.
But if something happens in my community and I'm trying to better my community, I don't think that.
I wish I knew who did it right now. Because I would call. You know, they give you like $10,000 if they get an arrest.
No, I don't know. I didn't heard they've been kind of acting shady with that too. Just truth be told,
ain't nobody calling.
No, I'm just talking about on other cases where they be promising a lot of money.
Oh, but if it don't lead, it has to lead to an arrest
and conviction.
Yeah, I mean, if it don't lead to a conviction, you're not getting paid.
But I heard that some people weren't getting paid.
Because trust, I'm watching it all the way. I'm watching every snap, because once that conviction hit, I'm be calling that hotline again. Like, where my money?
Tbeyb, you're gonna be that old lady in the hood, be like sitting in the window watching everything going on.
I mean, not really like that, but I'm just saying, like, that could have been my college sister or brother working
it really
at that store.
Was your relative.
You know
if
what
you
I'm
really
saying?
Think about it, like, knowing we're all connected, we just gotta.
That could have been anybody. Danita said, if it was their family, they would want someone to tell. And Rashid said clout chasing, limited views of value opinions, and through sense of lonesomeness and a lack of enrichment in their environment. I think people who know the person may see it as snitching because they are kin in some similar situation. And that's what I would say. But then again, would they not do it to you?
Well, and I think that this is how it goes, in my opinion. We got a stigma against dealing with who we may consider to be the authorities, but then we're not going to do nothing about it ourselves. Then, you know, where are you at? What do you do? We can't just allow our communities to be overran by, you know, that lower self kind of thinking.
Yeah. It was a body found on Lister.
We're up to 61 or 62 murders. Yeah.
They were shooting in Westport. And I'm trying to figure out where my tax dollars at, because they did this whole big old thing about on Westport. That's right. And they want to raise taxes so they can make sure don't no guns and all that kind of stuff get on Westport.
Check ID. You gotta have
IDs,
just to walk
they didn't shut down
all
the streets. Yeah, they didn't shut down all the streets, blocked off all the streets, got all these police out there that we paying they tax dollars. Their salary is paid by us. Right. So they getting paid to be there, standing there. How this man get in there to be able to with a gun
inside the building
inside Westport, to be able to shoot into a crowd of 50 people? I want my money back. Y'all ain't do what y'all supposed to do. I want my money back.
Well, check this out. Do you know, or when you really think about it, most of our governmental agencies, our local government, all of them are getting an F like right now. So
y'all failing.
Like, you know, we talk about the penitentiary system, right? Right. I don't even want to talk about the people in it. I just want to talk about, does it work or not? So if 80% of the people come out and then, you know, get out and be out for 6 months and go right back in, the the rehabilitation part of it is not working. And so a lot of our law enforcement and governors and people who make decisions are getting paid for doing an inadequate job. You hire more police, you're doing this, you're doing that, but the numbers are still showing that you ain't getting the job done. Right. And I think like once you have shown a track record over a certain time, then we got to get you out there and get somebody else in there that can do the job more effectively. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We got to do better.
They only check random people. Now my money ain't worth random. Maybe I need everybody.
Probably profiling some people.
Well, I seen a guy that got charged with doing it, and he looked like he should have been profiled. He should have been
searched. The description. Yeah. He would look like the usual suspect.
He looked like he should have been searched. And then I seen, and how I seen him was because somebody talking about free him. First of all, people, I understand.
Not free him. Yes. Had him on a t-shirt.
Man, look. I understand this might be your people, this might be your cousin or whatever, but if your cousin see, they got mad because, you know, I'm a Moor, and I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. When I tell people that they like to, you know, look up the Moors, and the first thing that they like to say, oh, the Moors sold off their own people. I'm telling y'all right now, if I was queen of the United States.
And I'm just telling you, I already know where you're going.
Yeah.
And it's coming. Your royal, your queenship is coming.
Yes. If I went. Not if, but when I'm queen of the United States, not just playing, but
come on with this monarchy.
If somebody if another country come to me and be like, you know, y'all got a couple of thousand peasants over there, I give you $1,000 per peasant. You think I'm not shipping them on out? I don't need them. They gotta go,
T-Baby. You always have to balance out. That's why you need a king, T-Baby, to balance out your queenship.
They gotta go.
You gotta balance your queenship, baby.
They out here raping kids, gotta go. Hey, they out here killing kids, gotta go.
Next week, why women shouldn't be in charge?
Right. No. The next female president, first female president, borders off or rations off half the country. Not the illegal. She done got rid of some citizens.
If they out here doing I'm selling them. You think I ain't getting my money? Y'all not doing nothing for me.
They gotta go. Don't send the barber away.
What you mean? If the barber shouldn't be committing no crime that I don't agree with.
We can't have you to measure though, Tbeyb.
What you mean?
Sometimes you're a little hard on brothers.
Law is law.
You can't be the measuring stick.
You stealing? I'm chopping off your hand.
Okay, now
we're gonna see if you're gonna steal with your other hand. If you steal with your other hand, you're gonna be handless. How you gonna steal then?
Come on, if you reach out with your toes,
that's how they used to do back in the day.
Denita said, "Slow down."
She said profiling exactly.
Causing trouble in the kingdom, they gotta go.
That's what I'm
Next
saying.
Week, why women should not be in charge.
This is the only reason why I would say. Reason why I would say that, and I don't agree with that, but I would say I could kind of agree with that because we're gonna have a standard. And see, right now we're living in a state of kind of like lawlessness, like a cesspool. Like we have laws, but we don't have nobody that really obeys the law. Like you got a car that can go 100 and something miles an hour, and the speed limit is 40. Most of us are gonna go over 40 if they think that they can get away with it. So we just have a system that's in place, and being that system is set up like that, they pick and choose who they want to regulate on, so to speak. But we got to be inside the law and regulate. So
Justin, hold on, before I get Justin's comment, because I'm gonna comment there. Let me go back up a little bit. Rashid said,
"Focus."
There is no way that they can keep out guns when there are multiple entries. Hold on. Dang, let me go back.
You're talking about Westport?
None of these comments. So 913 boy or 930 boys in the building. How you doing? I don't know who that is.
That's my guy. That's Daryl Moonrock Focus. Okay, what's happening, baby?
Hey, Denita said there's no way to keep out guns when there are multiple entries. But they put police at every entry. When they had the streets blocked off to get in Westport, there are police at every way to get on Westport.
I can see you posting live.
What?
Mad because they checking you and checking your purse.
Right,
they can check my purse.
But that's probably who really bringing them in there. I'm not trying to just get out there. Yeah, they put them in there, then they little dudes get on in there, and then when the little dude get in there, then he get it back.
She want to be a rider, so I got you, daddy.
I got you, daddy. Plus, he gonna be having the party favors and all that, so she ready to go.
So
until they say, "How do you plead?"
Right, as an accessory.
So Rashid said it's what we conceive as normal. We don't challenge what we deem as normal. We inherit and perpetuate. Say the word. You see it?
Perpetuate.
Yeah, there you go. The same toxic traditions that were handed in the generations before. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
We have to shift a lot more than what we police for. Profiling exactly. I feel her causing trouble in the kingdom. They gotta go. Hey, that's how they used to do back in the day.
That's what the Rock said.
For an eye.
But you know what I said, because we had this conversation before. I said just exile them, bro. I said kick them out. Going out in the Asia.
If I'm gonna Exactly. I might as well get some money for you.
I'm gonna go ahead and impose a couple of sanctions on you.
I mean, if I'm gonna exile you, I might as well tax them.
But as a leader, that would be short term. As a leader, you got
what exile? Exile ain't short term. You can't ever come back.
You can't just sending people away because eventually it's gonna be an army over there in 50 years or something like that. So to be a leader, you got to make people better.
Well, it's gonna be like this. This how I see her vision, and I could be wrong, but so we have like a proverbial heaven, right? Everybody's doing the right thing. And when you're not doing the right thing, you can't live in the neighborhood.
No, I see boats.
Like you see boats, like trains, long trains, and boats.
I get them a plane.
You get a passport out of here.
Are they dragging the baby?
Are you separating families?
No, babies is not going.
Are you separating families? You're going to take the daddy out and the mom out and the baby get to stay?
I mean, they can. Okay, well, here's the thing. They can decide. Do you want to go or do you want to stay?
So does the child have to pay for the sins of the parents?
Yeah, that's just what happens.
Okay.
We do that now.
Well, you tough, queen.
I'm just saying we do that now.
Justice
said they don't sell their own people. It's another bloodline. We all blood.
Well, this is what I was going to say because, you said every time you mention the fact that you're more, people say, well, y'all sold off your own people, so on and so forth. But I tend to disagree with that. But that happened. When you really go back into it, it was more of a situation just like what you were talking about. Like when the Moors would conquer other people that looked like them, then they would sell those people off.
Yeah.
They wasn't selling off.
Still Moors. We got to comment.
Rashid. Oh man, I said his name.
It's Rashid.
Yeah, Rashid. He said he wants to chime in rather than just comment.
All right.
Tap in, baby.
Tell them to go ahead, tap him in.
Hit that button.
So get my filler. Yes, I know y'all agree with me.
You got a lot of people that back that philosophy.
We have
how you cured
Rashid. You live on the air. Truth be told, what's happening, man?
What's up? Okay, so I know there's a lag whenever we live broadcast, so I wanted to be sure that whatever I'm contributing is current with the current conversation. You know what I mean? So
that was the last week.
I know when I was like, all right, I can't type out this comment fast enough.
Right. Come on, tap in.
You're talking about
it's all relevant.
Exporting like criminals, like exiling criminals and stuff like that.
Come on. I like
you agree or you don't?
Because this brings up a really key consideration when it comes to looking at people who do what we find inhumane things, do what we find as like antisocial, even vile or evil things, and we often have like the tendency, or if not the temptation, to believe that these people are in some way maybe not deficient, but like in some way
you're all right.
So,
you're all right.
Let me ask you this.
Flawed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So say you got
we look at them as if they are inherently dissimilar to us.
Right.
And this is why that's problematic, is because there's very little genetic diversity within the Homo sapiens species. There's more genetic diversity between two species of chimpanzee in the north.
I'm with you.
Northeastern.
Right. It's
Africa,
a very small percentage
in the
difference
jungle
in there
than there is in the 7.5 billion human beings on the planet. Right. And so knowing that what impacts us are these social dimensions, these categories of experience. And so when I look at somebody, for example, I had a guy, I just call him D for sure as a pseudonym. I used to call him my twin because he was born on the same day, same year as me. Now, I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of the school that I was going to. Well, I got kicked out of my house where I was growing up because of fighting. So I had to live in like these suburbs with my dad.
Now we don't got a lot of time, so break it down, bro.
I had to get a job at 15. My twin ended up having to move to Raytown because of this huge exodus, and he was a huge as a teenager, he was a coke dealer and arms dealer, right?
Right. Make sure you don't mention no names.
I remember him trying to sell me a firearm in the bathroom of my job, right? And a car, because he had a few cars that were all unregistered. But yeah, so
hold on. We got we got people listening, and they trying to see what your point is. But I think what your point is, You saying it's a small difference between one person and another person. Like so.
You're right. So my point is that this person's born on the same day as me, same race as me, same gender, same sex, same class, and the only thing that really separated him and I was this idea was how my family treated me and how the world treated me around me. You know what I mean?
No,
and if I had been in his position, I'd be a coke dealer and I'd be an arms dealer.
Well, that's something we needed.
So the problem is that if I just because of the blessings and privileges that I got growing up allowed me to deviate from that kind of path, I can't demonize or judge those people who are walking that path. I would have walked that same path given those same
shoes. I think we got to it. Okay. So let's go ahead and address this. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for that comment. We're gonna get some more. We got the line is backed up, but I did want to comment on that real quick. Appreciate that, bro. So I think he's talking about nature versus nurture. So his environment, he says that because of the nature, his family, maybe he was able to come up a different way than the person that was born on the same day, same community, same ethnicity, so on and so forth. And so that lets you know that we all have individual choices that we make in our life. And those choices can be influenced, but at the end of the day, ultimately, we're going to be held accountable for them. So we have to understand that the choices that we make are going to be the choices we have to live with. I think that when he was talking about, I think when he first came in, he was talking about some Neanderthals and some human beings.
No, he said the humans. So he said we're all similar within.
And so I was going to get into the Neanderthal and the Homo sapien are not the same thing. And so we gotta.
But he didn't say that.
Well, he was trying to say that there's such a in the genetic code it was so similar in between. It's not that much between us and an ape, but even 1% can be billions of different species.
The point, and that's what I knew he was. I think the point he was trying to make, and I was trying to get him to settle down for a second. But the point he was trying to make was that, say, a murderer, we're like a law-abiding citizen is not too different from a murderer. Say a couple different things in their life,
and that may be the difference.
Sometimes you missed a couple hugs.
Right. Pat on the back or an attaboy.
So I got what he was trying to say, but he was just trying to, he was trying to rush.
He drew it out a little bit, and it kind of bounced around. Go ahead, Tbeyb.
I mean, that's kind of true. I get. I mean, I'm not gonna say I guess because that is true, but that's the thing. You gotta separate. It's like, who is it? Is it Charles Darwinism? Is it
Charles Darwin?
Yeah, Darwin.
And then he had a theory called Darwinism.
Yeah. Darwinism, only the strong survive. So if you're weak-minded and you're able, which
not everybody's strong-minded though.
Exactly, only the strong survive. So the weak ones gotta go.
But you understand why?
But
I don't need them reprocreate. I don't need them reprocreate.
It's some weak ones that reprocreate.
But you understand why?
Exactly, but I don't need them to.
That way.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Well, that's why we live in the world that we live in now.
But this is how
if you had a strong-minded leader.
This is how the leader got to think, T. You are only as strong as your weakest link. So if you got people that are in your kingdom and they're not performing right, then you gotta bring them up. You can't kick them out necessarily.
Why?
Because some of them are only in that position
only
because
the
they
strong survive. Okay.
All right. So if we're gonna say only the strong survive, say you're the leader, like let's say fist to fist, are you gonna whoop a 6'4" dude or something like that? So
what you mean whoop him? I ain't gotta whoop on the queen, behead.
Only the strong survive. How you gonna do that?
Hey, come on, man.
I got bishops.
Rich knights, bishops.
What are they like? I like what this dude saying. You know what I mean? I ain't listening to her no more. I like what this dude saying.
no, I'm just playing. But I wouldn't be like that for real. I do feel like it should be an eye for eye. Here's my thing. People know, and as humans, you know right from wrong. I don't care.
Inherently,
you know right from wrong. We all have a piece of the creator inside of us. We know morals, so it does not give you an excuse. I don't care how you was raised. It don't give you an excuse to run up in Jay's chicken and shoot the little mid-eastern guy that was in there.
Hey, and I'm not defending the dude, but you got to put everything in perspective. Everything has context. So if he got 3 kids at the crib or something like that, you know what I mean? If the lights is off,
listen, he's just
trying to do right.
The lights is off. Just say that the lights is off. He don't have no understanding. He's lost.
Yeah,
he's
because the system, because of that thinking from non-black folk too. Of saying, well, if you do something, you just need to be sent.
Europeans.
Now, let me throw this at you, Tbeyb. I just want to throw this in here real quick, and then we can jump in. We got guests in the building. Got elections coming up. I want to say this: when we talk about prophets, when we talk about great people throughout history, there's the scenario.
Usually mentioned.
There's the Corvell is mentioned sometimes. Nelson Neal's always in the conversation, but usually what happens is the creator takes the broken piece, that cornerstone that they reject, that person that was in prison, the one that was bad, the one that would have got kicked out or got his hands cut off, and he uses that person as the instrument by which to manifest himself through. So if you take all the brothers that's in Lansing, Kansas, or in Leavenworth right now and say, y'all all committed a crime, we done with you, we kicking y'all out the kingdom, you're going to lose some of your best scientists, your best doctors, your best people.
Because everybody in Leavenworth ain't supposed to be there.
Exactly, Tbeyb. That's why we can't give up on them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the innocent people, or you know what I'm saying.
I know certain people got to go. I'm with you,
about the real people. Like y'all, I'm not talking about how the system is convicting people and everything. Just saying, I ain't saying like we just gonna take a whole jail and just ship them off. Like, no, we know half of them in there innocent.
Unless the price is right.
No, it ain't unless the price is right. I'm just saying we know half of them in there is innocent.
That's right.
But when you have a young man that could walk up in Jay's Fish and Chicken, and I cannot keep going back off this because Jay's Fish and Chicken is right there on 27th.
So let me ask you this.
Prospect. My mama live right down the street.
Exactly, and that's our community. We all drive up and down that street.
My little brother working.
My daughter go up to school up there. So
I eat in there.
So we there with you. Can someone that is of that lower mindset, that lower self nature, that carnal thinking,
you saying can they change?
Can they be rehabilitated? Like a person that does that, can they? I'm just asking though. Can they? Can that guy be good? Can he be Malcolm X, Malik El-Shabazz?
I got give an example. Sports analogy. Bill Belichick, the best coach in the league. What was it? Corey Dillon, Randy Moss.
We didn't agree on that.
Right.
We didn't agree on that.
True.
Okay. Yeah, let's put that. Yeah, let's put that.
Flattened balls to win a game.
If you're on the other side, you're on the silly side. Anyway, yeah, like.
Oh, go ahead.
No, he had Randy Moss, Corey Dillon, and some other guys.
Right, he had a lot of talent.
No, but they were problems in other places. They were like, I can't deal with this guy. Get him out of here. But Bill Belichick said, bring him here. I'll coach him up. I'll get him right. And
really,
did we have any problems with Randy Moss until the end? Did we have any problems with Corey Dillon?
So would you compare Belichick to say Phil Jackson? I mean, he had to work with superstars. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to change on that.
They want to know the subject, so let me back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit because we about to go on break. So
that's what I was going to do.
In a minute, we got a couple of comments, and then we're going to come back on the other side. So I'm trying to go back to a couple of comments here. How can you cure a klepto?
Because you want to cut their hands off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one solution. Because you can't steal if you ain't got no hands.
Why are you a klepto? That's why are you?
You got to go back to the source. You got to go to the source, right?
Because if not, you just working off emotion. So you got to take emotion out. Where's logic?
So check this out. So the klepto, being a klepto, having sticky fingers is the effect. So what's the cause, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, so we were talking about, I made a comment just for those asking for the subject right now. I had made a comment saying that if I was queen of the United States, there was a couple of people that I would sell. If they came,
you did make that comment.
Yeah, I did. If they came and said, "I got $1,000 for each,"
you be waving like this as they float away.
Done. Ain't that done? I didn't say. I said I put them on a plane. Okay.
Hey, go ahead and take us out to the break when you do that.
I want to do these comments real quick.
After the comments, take us out.
Okay, and so let me see. Okay. So clearing a klepto, we cutting off their hands. Simple. The problem with searches in the system. Because we were talking about Westfield. I'm going back through the comments for y'all real fast. Because I don't want anyone to feel left out. I want to make everybody feel like they're part of the conversation.
Hang on. Let's get our commercial in. We can run through there because this we have the 30-minute mark.
No, we're not. We had 6:28. So the people that searches in the way the system is set up violates our right as the people need to closure our creator and understand that every life matters. I agree with that. Because they were talking about the golden rule. Like, does the golden rule just not exist anymore? Treat others how you want to be treated. People just don't live by that no more.
We got away. That's universal law.
Yeah, that is universal law.
But we got away from that. And the further that we get away from some of these basic fundamental principles, the more in that spiral, we just spiraling into a black hole.
I needed to calm down.
I saw that. I wanted to bring it up. But
they obviously don't know her very well.
Right, because I wasn't hyped.
The key to solving any problem is leadership.
Right.
And if people trying to lead is not leading the right way, then it won't work.
I like that. Which brings me into politics next. So we're going to take a quick station identification break here at KUAW. Make sure that you comment, you call in. You got the number 816-599 6893. We're going to come back on the other side of the break with Mr. Jeff Francis. He's going to tell you what he's running for. A lot of elections are coming up here locally, and we're getting ready for him. We'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Hey, Facebook. Okay, so let me see real fast. I just want to make sure I really am reading y'all comments. Drew, I don't know why you said I need to calm down, but I'm calm, baby. The Most High created everyone the same. That's true, but a lot of people differentiate in different paths.
We're gonna have to get back to that.
Yeah,
that's gonna take a process.
Yeah,
right now we've been so divided.
Danita says she wants to live in a world where I don't have to look over my shoulder. Don't we all?
We getting ready to start a whole new planet, Danita.
There's so much genetic diversity that Homo sapiens within the entire species.
Okay. Some people can
there
be
between the two species in the same jungle. See, I don't like
Mac,
when people
compare
humans to animals. Are we back?
No, I'm just saying hi to people.
I didn't hear anything. I don't like when people compare humans to animals because God only created one race, and that was the human race. I don't know where all this Neanderthals and Homo sapiens and all that kind of stuff comes from. Whatever it is,
I love you.
I don't know where all that comes from.
30 seconds.
That sounds like some gay people. Homo. Whoa. Oh, you can't say that?
Whoa. I think so.
Well,
I think somebody
might
be offended, but homo. Monitor 2, brother. Now
okay, can y'all hear us?
He got to fade out.
Can y'all hear us? Hit me with a 100 real quick.
Yeah, let me get a 100 or some thumbs up or something.
All right. Okay, we back. All right. So apparently sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear us now. I'm going to say you drop me a 100.
Soon as they apologize to you.
All right. Thank you,
that
Danita.
Was technically the engineer's fault.
Soon as they apologize.
Soon as
you got your apologize.
But that's okay. We're going to keep rocking. So make sure we back, y'all. We apologize. Yeah, we are. So what I was saying is we know the local election. We're going to switch gears here a little bit and get off of that for a little bit and come back to some realness. Because in order to be the change, we have to be the change that it is that we're wanting. And so with that coming up, the local election is coming up August 7th. Right. We got a couple of people I ain't telling y'all who to vote for, but we got a couple of people just go down our KUAW page.
I'm telling you who to vote for.
Well, we got
Armida
Dupree.
We got to help Dupree. We got to help.
We got
to put Mr. Francis in the game.
For sure. The new face in politics.
That's right.
No politician, man. I'm a public servant.
Okay.
There it is. That's right.
Yeah, we have him here live in a studio with us, and we're gonna let him tell us a little bit about what he's running for, why he decided to run, and things like that.
And a little bit about a story. He got a story. Yeah. He got a great story. Let me just throw this in here, Tbeyb, real quick. This is the thing I want everybody to know. The people that make and establish laws right now really don't care nothing about what you think or how you feel. All of that political posturing and spin is simply to make sure that it's simply to make you think that they care about your opinion. When you really think about it, why would your opinion count over the opinion of the politician? So what we have to do is we have to find people that reflect our goals, morals, things like that. Because if you're gonna, we really don't. What happens is we vote for the people that go to Jeff City or Topeka, and then they put the people because they say I'm going to vote in your best interest. I'm talking about electoral college, and I'm talking about how we have our representatives. Correct. And so we have to make sure the people on the ground level reflect have our best interest, because a lot of time we put people in position and they don't care nothing about us. Yeah. They just over here to get our votes. Malcolm X back in the day called it the bullet or the ballot. They come into our neighborhoods and they get our votes, and then they go right up with their own agenda. So if we're going to make a change, we got to put our people in position. I just want to start it off. I just want to start it off with that. But they got to be us. They got to come from us. They got to be us.
Like not K-Town, because we're not making no law that it should be against the law to display gays' affection. We're not judging people like that. K-Town.
We're not gonna call K-Town now. Mr. Mr. Jeff Francis is in the building. Let's give a little hand clap for that. Yeah. Bro, tell us what's happening.
Hey, no hand claps. Y'all know how rough that is on me over here?
Okay. Would you want snaps or something?
No, man. Don't put it nothing like that.
But introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Francis. A lot of people know me from my stage name, Felix Mitchell, the Billionaire. I also go by Billy Lynch, the Johnny Cash of hip hop. And what I'm doing now while I'm running, a lot of people.
Well, what you running for?
I'm running for the state representative of Missouri.
What district?
And 23rd district.
That's right. What does that include?
The boundaries for the 23rd.
Is that 18th and Vine?
Yes.
All right. Tell them about it, bro.
Okay. So if you're familiar with Kansas City, the boundaries are they stretch as far as Independence Avenue to 35th Street, and as far as from Truce past Topping, past Fremont, almost to 435.
Right.
And everything within that. So. And all the people, men, women, and children. So I represent as many as 30,000 constituents. And what I found was when I was doing my research, I actually ran in the last election. I ran as a write-in candidate, and it was a special election for the same seat. And so I ran as a write-in candidate, but I didn't fare too well because
it was the last minute.
Yeah,
I was there.
Exactly. Hey, but it was exciting. It was so fun, and it showed me I got a lot of
learned a lot
of prep for this particular campaign right now. And my opponent is like a landslide in my favor. And it's like, my opponent is so outnumbered and don't even know what they got coming, but to God be the glory,
That's right.
Hey, let me quick question. What are the requirements so people understand what the requirements is to run?
For the requirements, you have to be a resident of the district that you're running in for a year. You have to be a registered voter, and you can't be a felon. You can't have any felonies. Okay. And there's a few other things within that, but those are the main things.
But it's very attainable. Is the point though?
Most definitely, you don't have to have a college degree.
None of that.
You don't even have to have.
Let me throw this in. I get it.
Diploma.
I get emotional when we talk about this, because you got a lot of people that's up here picking up $50,000-$60,000 a year that ain't doing nothing. All they did was put their name on a ballot and they cashing checks. That's all they doing. They don't really, look around the community. You can see if any progress is happening in the community. Ain't nothing happening. They just picking up checks.
As I've been out here,
because I'm a public servant, or I'm a rep, I get 40,000.
Hey, and so check it out. So as I'm in the community, and a lot of people say community engagement, but I like community interaction, because when you engage somebody, you of course you're using them as a sounding board, assessing the situation, but interaction is like you're coming back and you're getting involved in what they got going on.
That's right.
And so that's real important. And I see that's real important to a lot of these organizations, a lot of small businesses, a lot of different local artists, a lot of people. They want to know, are you more than just engaging them, saying hello and all of that? Are you actually interacting with them? Are you going to support what they got going on? Are you going to patronize their efforts?
So what are you running on? Like, everybody runs on a platform. If it's education, if it's stop the violence, what you running on?
And both of those are key points for me.
Okay.
And when it comes to education, anybody who know me, they know that I'm big on books. I'm big on education. I do believe that readers are leaders and bookworms are boss. And so I'm a publisher myself. I write books. So do you. And so, of course, literacy, education,
that's right,
skills, mentoring,
right? Because there's a direct, I hate to cut you, there's a direct connection between education and the penitentiary.
Exactly,
it's a direct connection.
Exactly. And when Freeway Ricky Ross was here and we was there, we was listening to him speak, and he did some research. He found that in St. Louis, the homicides, it was a point where everybody who had been murdered in St. Louis, none of them had graduated from high school, and then it was only one person who had went to college or something like that, but there was a relationship with education and homicides and education and crime.
That's what's up.
And so that's one of the platforms, education, of course, public safety. And I'm not just talking about the crime and violence, but I'm also talking about the potholes that tear up your car. And I'm also talking about the blight in the community and the stuff that, where animals are living in these houses instead of humans.
Right.
And
raccoons and possums.
Yeah. Also the aging population with the seniors. And when I talk about that public safety, we have a lot of bike lanes and stuff, but a lot of our seniors, they got these motorized wheelchairs and stuff, and they are in the streets with their wheelchairs, and that's dangerous for pedestrians and motorists. So we need to figure out something. I want to address things like that. Also, as an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, so I like to support other entrepreneurs and employment opportunities. So business owners and stuff, small business owners, I'm real passionate about that. So those three things, I do everything as far as driving funding back to the community for those efforts, establishing laws and legislation to push different efforts through, and ultimately, improve the quality of life for my citizens.
Sounds great. You got any questions? Because I got questions too.
What inspired you to run?
What inspired me to run? Brandon Ellington, first of all.
Shout out to Brandon.
Yeah, shout out to B. We was in the trenches together, and when I first got out of prison, Sister Esther Hosendorf and several others from the United Organizations Coalition, my auntie Loretta Rogers from Spiritual Field Ministries, and Dr. Anita Johnson, they was grooming us. They was like, man, y'all the new blood, y'all the new flavor. We getting old. Y'all gonna have to take up the torch. So, but my thing personally, I said, well, I just came out of prison and I'm part of the hip hop culture. And when you listen to my music, it's a lot of cussing, it's a lot of this and that, and I don't want people to use that against me. And plus, I wasn't the type. I said, man, I don't want to be going around, kissing butt, just to get a vote or something.
Right.
But when I did get involved, after I seen, I was at a meeting and I got slighted so many times. When I go to these meetings, I done support so many different politicians and statesmen. I didn't help them get in office and stuff like that, lobby for them, different legislation. But when I'm at these meetings and stuff, they try to hush me up and they try to make it seem like my ideas and whatever I'm bringing forth ain't relevant. They make it seem like the hip hop community don't count for nothing. And so I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do more than just be active in the political and the civic process.
That's right.
I'm gonna take a stand. Not only that, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna see how many friends and supporters I'm gonna see how people really encourage us, and so that's what I did. I went to the table. I said, man, I decided I'm gonna run. Can I get your support on it? They said, well, why are you gonna run? So-and-so's running, you're gonna split the vote. I'm like, man, how am I gonna split the black vote when you got only less than 16,000 people registered to vote out of the 30,000+ in my district. And then out of the 16,000 that's registered, not even 4,000 come out to vote. So I ain't splitting nothing.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Ain't not getting split up.
So which makes it even more relevant of why it is that, if you guys are listening now and you're not registered to vote, y'all need to do that today. Go ahead and get that. You can do it right online. You can register to vote right online.
You can register within like 30 minutes and be on deck.
I have one important question I think that everybody's wondering.
What?
Would you exile your people, sir?
Would I exile my people?
Would you exile people that are problem child?
Hey, you know what? I really thought about that. I said, okay, if I'm in a situation and I have to make that type of decision, because we had these table talks. I thought if it came to that, because some people, they're not safe for the community, and they're not safe for themselves until they get the certain type of help, and who knows how long that may take. And so it'll be too much to warehouse criminals.
Go.
And so what I would do, just like how they got this border interest, I would suggest, I'm like, okay, the people who want to come over here and ain't committed no crimes, well, we'll swap it out. We'll send some of them other people.
You're gonna send our criminals over there for they good
every
people.
Criminal, we'll send them over there. Of course, we'll police them over there, or we'll let y'all mafia police them or whatever, or whatever police y'all got down there. But we'll swap it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's what be honest with you. That's what, and I approved of it. That's what they used to do back in the old days. That's how the colonists got here in America, because they was in Great Britain, and Great Britain didn't want to deal with them, and so they sent them out.
But what happened? They come back.
They didn't come back. They stayed
in America.
They stayed.
This is America.
But what I'm saying,
and they made their own.
Right, but those were outcasts. That's where the word outcast comes from.
And that's what's here from.
We got
Europe,
the outcasts.
They from England, they got cast out and stuff, and then that's what we found out. That big influx, that transatlantic slave trade was really a European trade-off, and they was importing Europeans here. They were bringing them.
And the reason why that they had this 4th of July is because they were being taxed for these people, because these people were considered property. And they decided, we're not paying taxes on all of these people over here, because this is taxation. You just getting bread. Guess what?
Easy way out.
Turned around to us and said, listen, if you help us gain our freedoms from King George, then we'll give you your freedom. We helped them gain their independence, but we never got ours. So anyway,
we wasn't actually slaves, and that we was like indentured servants. That when a person keep lying to you, that's just like somebody lying to you about your wages or something like that.
Right.
But this is lying to you about your freedom.
About your freedom.
That's just like going up for parole 10 times.
I like Justin Castro comment. He said, "Who
are
we to give up on each other when our Creator has given up on us?"
We're not giving up on them because we're not killing them,
and
we're not shutting them out. We're keeping them alive.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get
out.
Listen, if you can't live in the bounds of society, see, the thing is, we're not trying to put your own self out. Is how I'm looking at it, because we're all going to be peaceful over here. We're trying to get back to peace.
My thing of it is, how you want to argue? How y'all want to argue?
We're debating.
How y'all want to discuss or debate or whatever of allowing criminals to just stay amongst you?
Look, but that's not the point. The thing is, that doesn't solve the problem, because if you just get rid of them people, when a baby from 0 to 18, you're gonna have to get rid of more people. But
no, you're not, because if you have the proper,
but it's the process to fix it.
We can't. I don't think we're gonna be able to do the process on this particular show, because it's a long one.
It ain't no process. Because if you have, it ain't no process. Because if the people that's not supposed to be here, they out of here. So that means they not procreating over here either. Then you have the right people over here procreating. They're gonna raise their kids up right.
Hold up. Now you stepping in some very
we not judging.
You're starting to sound like Hitler.
There it is. Miss Hitler to you, buddy.
So when you get to decide,
that's the gateway drug.
You cannot do
I didn't say die.
Okay, now what I'm saying is, when you decide who gets to
stay and who gets to go.
And this is one thing that I do honor and recognize Ronald Reagan for.
Power corrupts.
See, it was a thing
that
Ronald Reagan had did. They was doing something about these children, what I call, excuse my French, but they was calling them retarded children, right? And they were saying, okay, it was a child and it was a case, and they wanted the feeding tube. They wanted to cut the life support on this child.
I remember that.
And they said, well, if you cut the life support on that child, because that child can't defend itself and speak up for itself, who's next?
Right.
And so you're going to start with these children that can't help themselves, that you decided that aren't smart enough for society.
Well, here goes.
But we ain't talking about children.
This is a slippery slope. And this is the other part about it, is because I think that everything that happens down here is a reflection of our leadership. So whatever's going on down here, whatever amount of corruption is taking place down here, it's only as a result of the corruption that's up here. So if we are kicking out these lower level, little street performers, I think Farrakhan said, you ain't no killer. Think you got a gun. You ain't no killer. These people killing whole nations. They coming through. So you're not really that. You just think you that. But we got to figure out with this leadership. And once that has changed, and I think we're going to see a dramatic change on the other end.
My thing of it is, you send all it's gonna take is one flight of people to leave, and everybody gonna get their act right because they don't want to go. And if they don't, then they must want to go.
And that's not trust. Am I next?
What do you mean?
I didn't
Here's
have
my
money.
thing. You shouldn't have to be.
I didn't have money for the lights, so I'm gonna go rob this.
How you feel
should
about
not
public
have to-
caning? How you feel about
should
that?
not have to be. You should not have to be tricked into doing what's right.
You just got to be deprogrammed.
Yeah. Now that is.
And I'm
important
saying morally.
because
I'm not saying what I think is right. I'm saying morally.
Because sometimes what you got to do is, because God has something for everyone. He gives us this certain type of intelligence.
Agreed.
And so, but some people know
how not true, Justin.
Some people know how to take what you put together and build off of it. Some people know how to be original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's happening is when you got people in different households, in one household, it's a message where if they hit you,
hit them back.
Yeah.
In another household, they saying, hold up.
Turn the other cheek.
No, not so much turn the other cheek.
Or whatever. Different message.
It's a message of mercy and forgiveness.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you hit them. It's when you do retaliate. It's not that you turn the other cheek. You check that at the door, but it's how you're going to discipline this person. How are you going to make this person understand that, hey, you don't do me like that. You don't steal from me. You don't punch me. You don't push me. You don't take my stuff. You don't bother my stuff. How do you get this across to a person who may say, hey, look, I'm hungry. And I said, you wasn't there for me to ask you. And I didn't, some people got bad manners, and that's just how it is. Yeah. And then some people are raised proper with decency, but you got to have a universal code. And then what I believe is, like I read on the napkin, they a Hallmark napkin. It said high maintenance. Why is that a problem? And so, and I thought about that, and I'm like, man, I listen to people say, hey, you too high maintenance. So what's wrong with high maintenance, though? What's wrong with raising our standards for the society that we live in? What's wrong with saying, hey, you are accountable for your child? And look, that's your social security. Well, but so you better raise your child in the manner that your child is going to
useful member of society.
Well, that's your social security. I like that.
But check it out. Say they stay in a high tax area where they got 2 kids. And they make, say, $60,000 a year, but they still upside down. You know what I'm saying? So it's.
But that's not going to be going on. Because the government, we're fixing all that.
Oh, so we kicking everybody else and everything's fixed.
I'm saying you have to put stuff in.
I think she's saying that we got certain things.
But the people that I'm talking about kicking out, see, what y'all not understanding
are the ones that refuse.
Yeah, y'all like to go back to this. Y'all love this kicking
Truth
people out.
And opinions be told.
No, that ain't no opinion.
It is an opinion.
What's an opinion?
Tighten it up. We got a couple minutes.
All I'm saying is we have a set of universal laws. Agreed or not agreed? Do you know universal laws? No, do you know universal laws? Oh, that's a yes or no question. That was aggressive, but yes. Okay, because that's how I'm trying to get my point across. Yeah, lower your chest a little bit. Anyway, you have universal laws, okay? And this is a setup of morals that you are supposed to live up to. Okay. If you don't have that, then I don't need you here. I'm a good person,
so I understand.
So this is what we're going to do, because this is a great conversation. We got a couple of minutes. I did want to, because we were on to politics.
I know.
And we jumped back off into the, do you want to outcast somebody?
Go ahead and close out your.
Hit a couple. You got 2 minutes. Right. Then we're going to do the close.
Let me share. Do me a favor.
How can they get
yourself registered?
Yeah, so
go get registered. You can register at Union Station, or if you run across me, I got registration cards with me, or you can go online and register. But please get registered. Do me that favor and get registered. Then after you're registered to vote, do yourself a favor and vote for me. Because
do us a favor.
Yes, do us a favor.
There you go.
I like that.
And why would you vote for me? First of all, or of many reasons, I look like you. I reflect your interests. I'm in a community like you. You'll see me walking from one end of the town to the other end, and it ain't just because I'm walking. It ain't just because I'm in the trenches with you, but I also will go right up to Jeff City and take those issues right up there. And I understand how to articulate these things. I know how to draft these legislation. I know how to draft the bills. So
hit him with the district again, bro.
The 23rd district, state representative Jeff Francis. Get registered. Come out and vote.
What date?
Now, the election is November the 6th. Now we have a primary. I'm not in the primary because I'm not representing no party. I can party on my own. I'm an independent candidate. I'm representing the people. Those party candidates, what they do is they get the money from the Democrats or the Republican or whichever party, and whatever the party says, them is the party lines that they have to follow. They got to toe that party line. So regardless what they didn't told you, what they didn't promise you,
I was telling
you're not finna get nothing out of them unless you take it to their party. And the party decides what this person is going to do for their term in office. And if they decide that they didn't do what they wanted them to do, they're getting out of there. But as far as me, I'm represented by the people. And when I go up there in Jeff City, they're going to say, hey, that's that guy. That's that rapper. That's the guy from the joint. That's the guy that came up here that got it by the grace of God and by the people in the community. They supported him. He's genuine. Know what they say? He's the truth. Truth be told.
There it is.
Hey, so real quick, you want me to do it? I'll do it real quick. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bonded you to love and unity. Prefer not a stranger before your own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If our sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other.
Peace.
Peace.
I'd like to say thank you guys for having me.